Kitchens are usually filled with flat surfaces, straight lines and sharp edges, and often that's what we choose because it's contemporary, it's what everyone's doing, those flat cupboards, but we don't always think before we choose those things what the outcome might be, and the outcome might be a bit of a cold and lacking character sort of a kitchen. And if that's not what you want, then you might want to do some of these things that I'm about to mention to really soften that kitchen space. So the first thing you might want to do is add texture. And how do we add texture in a kitchen? So you can do this by choosing to incorporate things like tile over, say, a glass splashback. So you can find tiles that have pattern on them, but you can also create patterns with tiles. So you can do a herringbone pattern or a subway tile that, has a bit of a rough texture to it, and it's sort of, while it has a smooth surface, easy clean, of course, it can have a bit of texture. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight like a glass splashback, for example. So making choices like a tiled splashback can really soften the look of your kitchen. Also, adding color really helps. So I think most of the time a lot of people choose white simply because it's safe, I suppose, but it can also feel really cold if you've got straight lines, sharp edges, and it's also white, and maybe you've only got stainless steel to go with it, or a bit of black. That can feel really cold. So what you might want to do is, if you really want white, go for like an ivory, but you could also choose color. So put a bit of color in your splashback or add a bit of timber. What you can do is you can add, if you're going to put your chopping boards out as a decorative item, choose timber or bamboo, and maybe you want to put a rug on the floor, a runner. That'll really soften the space as well. You can add things like soft-shaped, soft-edged hardware. So, and that could be a different color. It could be brass, something unique. And you could also incorporate more timber in the space. You could, with your pendants, you don't actually have to have, if you're going to have sharp edge cabinets, you might want to choose organic shaped pendant lights to just contrast those shapes a bit, and that really, really softens the space. Even if that was all you did, that makes a huge difference. And I would suggest color there as well. So not necessarily bright, but even just the color of timber, that beautiful natural tone warms up that space, and you might want to tie that in with your other decor bits in your kitchen. You might want to display your pasta in glass cylinders or some beautiful canisters that really add texture and warmth to the space. What else can you do? You can also choose cabinetry with a bit of detail in the profile. So even a shaker door it's very contemporary, but it will add some depth to the space. So it doesn't just have to be, ornate, sort of over the top or a little bit classic. Even the country look looks really great, but you sort of want to have to be choosing a country style. But there's plenty of things you can do to soften those doors. You can also, even just going to town with a bit of colour in your doors. So I'm loving the greens at the moment. People are doing green cabinets, soft eggshell blues, these sorts of things, even if it's just the island bench that has that colour, or they might choose marble, which also warms up the space, or a timber block bench top also really warms up the space. The other thing you can do is choose organic shapes wherever you can. So your stools, choose organic shaped stools where possible. If you've got sharp edged cabinets and countertops, you probably want organic shaped stools. Avoid those metal stools, avoid those cold stools. If you've got an all white kitchen, unless you want just black and white, don't choose black stools, choose timber or something with a bit of colour. So basically just think about these things, how you want your kitchen to feel before just choosing a white kitchen because you may not want that outcome, you know. And if you do want white, just think about those organic shapes, think about those lines that you're creating as well, and if you can soften them, that'll really help the overall look.